away with our question and answer, but first I have a question for this esteemed panel. What an experience it must have been for all of you to be part of this amazing production. We'll just start just give us a brief, just a one-liner maybe of what it was like to be part of this amazing event and all these years of Harry Potter.
Magical. Absolutely magical for me. It's just been absolutely fantastic.
Who's next? Shall I go? I'm not going to be able to follow that. How about you, Dan?
It was magical. Same answer. No, it was absolutely. I only came in towards the end. I was only in the last 2 movies, so arriving in with all the guys was incredibly special to be part of something that. Because I was a fan myself, so it was kind of cool to turn up and be on set. It's amazing.
Fantastic. Well, we're going to go to the audience now and ask and see who has a question there. Let's start. Ryan, you want to start?
Yeah, thanks, Scott. I have Adlin here from Seattle, Washington.
Wow.
What are you going to do in the future?
What are you going to do in the future? That's a good question. All right, for our panel, maybe we can start in here if you want to go.
Well, I'm still studying at the moment. I'm studying photography and I'm in the last year. So hopefully after I graduate, I can go into a bit of both because I'd still love to continue acting. So we'll just see what happens. Yeah.
All right, good answer. Alfie?
I'm gonna keep acting, something I've always wanted to do, and I was lucky enough to do a play at a festival in the summer, and that went well, and I'm going to be doing a TV show over in the UK, but that's not shooting till April, so till then just sort of trying to find more work, but it's an odd position to be in, because Harry Potter was such a enormous thing, it's such a great opportunity, and I'm sort of aware that something like that's not going to come around necessarily anytime soon. That would be a sort of extraordinary thing to happen because it was, it was 10 years of fantastic work, lots of lovely people who are all very supportive. So yeah, I'm rambling now, so I'll stop.
It's good. Great answer, Jessie.
Hi. I run a website called pinjp.com, which is a comedy website. And I'm also in a film called Great Expectations with lots of other Harry Potter cast members, which is quite exciting. Oh. And I'm going to start doing stuff.
All right, Devon.
Well, I have a stud farm at home. We breed horses, and before Harry Potter, I was keen at show jumping. So now that Potter is over, I'm going to get back into that, try and compete as much as I can, and just carry on from there. And then fingers crossed, maybe in the new year, get back into the acting again, because it's just great fun and I can buy more horses.
Domhnall.
I don't know how loud to speak into this one, how far away from my face.
Can everybody hear Domhnall out there? Yeah! Okay. You're doing a great job.
Also, thank you for coming, everybody. It's amazing to be able to say hello to all of you.
We enjoy having you.
Yeah, no, I'm acting a bit and I'm doing I've got a massive beard at the moment because I'm in a film set in Russia. Thank you, yes, for the beard, yeah. Yeah, beards, so yeah. I'm gonna work on my beard in the future, that's mostly what I'm doing Enoch at the moment with some cool actors and making that. So hopefully I'll keep on acting and doing good work, hopefully.
Fantastic.
And
Great
my
question.
wife and kids, that'd be nice.
Great question, by the way. All right, let's go up, let's head up into the top of, Julia. Okay, Julia, right in front.
All right, we've got Angela from Tampa, Florida. Angela, what's your question?
Basically, I want to know, first of all, thank you for being a part of one of the biggest franchises of all time. The next question I have is, with the popularity that the Harry Potter books had, what was the audition process like?
Interesting question. Anyone that wants to pick that up, the audition process, what was that like?
Well, with me, when I auditioned, it was, I expected there to be about 100 people at the most when I got down to London, because it was at a dance studio, and turned out to be about 4,000. So, yeah, it was pretty overwhelming, but then, because it was my dad's day off work, so we because he agreed to come down with me, I thought it'd be really nice just to go and see what it was like. And we queued for about 5 hours, and in the end, they only took a photograph, and that was it. Yeah, and then I just waited for a call back if they were going to call me back. And within about 2 months, after several other auditions and a screen test at Gleeson Studios, they called me and said I got the part.
So it's really about 2 to 3 months that this process started.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't an instant kind of thing. They were specific and they made sure that you had the ability, obviously.
That's a pretty long time.
Yeah, for me, I mean, it was so long ago, I don't think I can really say exactly how long it took. But it was a proper process. I mean, I knew at the time that it was a big deal. I must have been about 10 or 11, I think I was 11. But I knew because the books had already been so successful, and I was a big fan of the books. I love them, and I think the second one was probably the first book I'd ever read, sat up and read through the night. So I was really excited about it. For me, it was something that I knew, could be a fantastic opportunity. So there were a lot of stages to it. I mean, obviously, something as big as that. And for me, I was in a play, and then someone saw me because we went on tour with this play, and they got in touch and asked me if I wanted to audition. So, I was going to say no. So I went for it, and I went back, and I met Chris Columbus, David Heyman, and had a meeting with them. And I was originally going up for the part of Lee Jordan, but they said to me I was too young to play that, which obviously was right. I mean, at the time I was 11, and Lee Jordan was about 4 years older, I think, than Harry Potter and the rest of them. So yeah, they called me back for Dean Thomas, and that was that. But it was very exciting because I knew, I was a fan myself of the books, and I knew what a great opportunity it was. That was characterising.
Thank you. Jessie?
Well, I just got a call from my agent. But basically the week before I'd been up for a shaving cream advert. And so when he called again, I was like, look, I'm not doing any more shaving cream. And it was like, you've got an audition for Harry Potter. So I was like, oh my god. But it was about 5 months. And actually in the middle of finding out if I had another callback, they said they were doing open auditions, which kind of like over 7,000 girls went to. And so I thought, right, no chance. But I ended up having a screen test and getting it. But I was just so grateful not to have to do shaving cream anymore. So yeah, that was it.
For me, it was a funny story because I'm dyslexic and I'd never read a Harry Potter book beforehand. So I just got a call from my agent and I had to fly over to the UK for a screen test. And they said something about Harry Potter. And I thought the director was called Harry Potter. I didn't have a clue what was going on. So I flew over and I met Matthew Lewis, who plays Neville. And we were just told we were going for either Seamus or Neville. So we went in, we done our screen test with Chris Columbus and David Heyman. And I think it was 2 days later, we had the read-through of the script. And they just told me, just come along, we'll see what happens. And then David Heyman came over to me and my mum and said, Devon, you got the part for Seamus Finnigan. And I was just absolutely delighted. It was just amazing.
Can I ask Dev something? Sorry, not to cut it off. I'm just thinking, so they said to you were going up for Seamus or Neville?
Seamus or Neville.
That is just, to me, that's a hilarious notion that you could have been Neville.
I've thought that many times.
I mean, they must have known, surely. They are. Did you do it the other way around as well? Did you read?
Yeah, I had to read Neville's, I had to read Seamus, and Matthew had to do the exact same, so...
Did you do an Irish accent?
No.
I'd like to hear him do that. Sure can.
Great answer, Devon. Thank you. And Domhnall?
I auditioned, because I look like a Weasley, there's no getting around that. So I auditioned originally, because I really loved Harry Potter for Cedric Diggory, and I wasn't good looking enough. And then for Stan Shunpike, and I wasn't bad looking enough, I probably so I auditioned for those, I didn't get them. And then I always said Bill is ever in the movies, so I'd love to audition for him, or Charlie. And then eventually they said he was going to be in the movies, and I auditioned. I only auditioned once. I met David Yates, and he was lovely, and I got the part. I was very happy. Yeah, but it was just one audition, but it was very nerve-wracking, very nervous.
I can imagine. A lot of shoes to fill, because they were already talking about your character well before. In one of the movies, it had already been mentioned, or a couple different movies, the character of Ron had already talked about you being his big brother. Had you already known that you were going to play that part prior to the first or second movie?
No. I mean, and also I figured he wouldn't, because he had a bigger part in the 6th book. He kind of, there was a load of stuff happening in the 6th book with him, and then when he got attacked by the werewolf and everything, like Lavender, and then when that didn't happen, I thought, well, he's not going to be in the last movie, so I was disappointed, and then they found out that he was there, and I was thrilled just to audition, and then even more thrilled to get the part. My dad's in the movie too. My dad plays Mad Eye Moody.
That must have been fun.
Yeah, so I'd been on set like years before to see the Harry Potter set, because I was so excited, and I went and I got asked if I wanted to be like a stand-in, like a double for the Weasley twins. And when they weren't filming, that I wanted to like put on their clothes and stand there and get their I said no, because I had to go back to college, but so I've been on set before and seen it. Yeah, it was amazing.
That's incredible, thank you. Where is Stephen?
I'm right over here, Scotty. I've got Hannah from St. Louis. Stand up, Hannah.
Hi. I was wondering, whenever you come down to Universal, does it feel like you're back on set, just you're missing a few, like you're just missing the cameras or the other cast members?
Actually, it's a pretty good question, because in other segments that we've seen, the cast has talked about how this looks so you're stepping into something that's more real now, as opposed to green screens or an area where you're shooting a scene and then when you leave that all you see is wood and drapes. So how different is it, as the question was asked, being here now without the cameras, but now you're looking at what someone's vision was for this amazing world?
It's incredible. I just can't believe how realistic it looks. I mean, like you said, being on set, you have all the cameras and props and people standing around behind the cameras, so even though you are at Hogwarts, it's kind of, you're not in a way, but being at the Wizarding World, it's just amazing, like with all the shops, and yeah, it's great. But the only weird thing is, because they have the snow on the roofs, like the sun's beating down on you, and it's just a bit weird to have the snow there, but yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd agree with that. Like, it's amazing, really. The attention to detail is so spectacularly put together. Like, it looks beautiful, and I think it gives, like, certainly for me, it's something you don't really, as Katie said, you don't really get as you're working. As we're shooting on set, because we have what's behind us, what's going to be in shot, and the rest is made way for lights, cameras, everything, the rest of the crew and everything else that needs to go on. So in a way, it's more of a rounded experience. That's not a good way of articulating that. It's more real, really, in a way of being on set, because it's all around you. There are no cameras. It allows us, and I think it allows us to feel something that hopefully people see when they see the movies. But for example, I know myself, when I see it, I'm aware of what it looked like when we were shooting. It's very difficult to totally abandon that and just watch it and just be immersed in that world. I always sort of remember, that took us 3 weeks to film, that was hard work, or that scene was quite fun, or whatever. So sort of being here and seeing it all gives you a sort of kind of complete picture that I hope the films would give you guys. I don't know if that's useful.
If you answer another question like that, we're actually going to switch places and you can actually host the rest of the show. That was great.
It's great,
Jessie?
it's really, really good, really good. I'm really glad because I can bring my kids here and tell them that, it's so nice to have something real, because, you guys can come and, it's something that is solid and it's not going to fall over if you push it. Hopefully. But yeah, it's really lovely.
For me, an awful lot of the sets weren't dressed while we were filming. So getting to see the park here, it's amazing because all the shops are totally full, say you've got the suites and everything, whereas if we weren't filming there was nothing in it. They just scrap it all, take everything out and put it back into props. So to see everything put together and working, it just looked pretty amazing to see it. And as Jessie said there, like to bring our kids here now in maybe 10 years time, 15 years time, and let them have a piece of what we had growing up, like 6 months.
I'm pregnant.
But no, it would be great, like, because we spent myself and Alfie anyway, spent half our lives on Harry Potter, growing up on all this environment, so for our kids to see it, it'd be pretty cool.
I agree with all that. That's it's amazing. The castle and everything is really, really beautiful. And
Beautiful. All right, Kristen.
I'm over here.
Hi.
We've got Morgan from California.
Hi, Morgan.
Hi. Who is your favorite character besides your own and why?
That's a great question. Who is your favorite character and why are they your favorite character other than your own?
Bellatrix.
And why would you say that?
She's just so fun to watch and, actually scary, but she's just so brilliant, Helena Bonham Carter. You just can't fault her. And I think it's just such a, she just makes me want to, I wish there was a Bellatrix movie. I think there should be a Bellatrix movie.
Anyone else, hop on, whenever you're ready.
I definitely think Draco Malfoy. That's what I want to be, Draco Malfoy. No, he's just so cool. He's a slick-haired git. He doesn't care about anything. He gets away with everything. It's pretty cool, like, I'd love it.
What? I'd say, certainly in the film, I'd probably say Snape. I think yeah, because especially in the last film, I mean, he's a real tragic character. I think there's something that really, to me, appeals about that. I mean, he's in such a difficult, impossible situation. There's nothing he can do. You just sort of watch this inevitable downfall of who's actually a good man. And I think there's something very compelling about watching that. So yeah, I'd say Snape.
I think I'm gonna I've changed from different characters to other characters throughout the past few years, but I think now it's got to be Hermione Granger. I don't know, she's just the epitome of like grace and intelligence and just everything that you want. Well, when you have kids, you want your daughter to be like that. She's just very well educated and she just sticks by her friends and she's perfect. I wish I was her.
Dom?
Probably Luna Lovegood. I couldn't play Luna Lovegood.
Well, that's just because you're too tall.
Yeah, she's too tall, I think. But I think I've got shave the beard, maybe. Yeah, no.
Yeah, why Luna?
She's brilliant.
Yeah.
She's in her own world and she doesn't care what people think about her and she's a good person and she's great crack. She seems like really good fun. She's lovely.
Woohoo!
And Lavender did a brilliant job playing her as well.
Yeah.
Alright, well, we're going to turn to our Facebook question, and Kristen is with Milan. What's our Facebook question, Milan?
Hi, this question is from Tristan F. And just to clarify, the Harry Potter Facebook has over 36 million fans.
What did I say, 1,000? That was definitely not enough. 36 million. Thank you, Milan. Thank you.
Tristan F. asked, what is it like to step into such a huge responsibility?
Wow, very good question. What is it like to step into such a huge responsibility? Because obviously as the movie started progressing, its popularity grew with each film, so there's probably a little bit more pressure placed on each character and what their role is in the movie, and so what kind of, you think about the pressure of that? What was it like to be in that particular role?